Good morning everyone and welcome to game week 5 of the Optegra Premiership here at Nottingham Trent University. An entire season of action-packed power chair football has come to this, the final weekend. And what a weekend we have in store. Who will be relegated? Who will play against Teesside Steel in that dreaded playoff game? And perhaps most importantly, who will lift the Optegra Premiership title? Who will have that trophy in their hands come the end of the weekend? Well, my name is Charlie McClellan and I'm here to hopefully accompany you in the journey to answer all of those questions, as we have a massively important game to start off your morning. West Bromwich Albion and Leeds will be watching on intently as Teesside take on Aspire. It's two teams that are still within that title race. Teesside 3 points behind West Bromwich Albion, top of the table. Aspire 4 points behind. But pretty much all of the top sides are going to face each other this weekend, so there is very much room for that pack to shuffle. We'll have a look at the two sides here today. For Teesside, they have a full squad with them. Ed Common, Greg Baxter, Dylan Pearson, Mitch Tinkler, Tyler Reeve and Alistair Hay. Looks like the starting four will be Greg Baxter in goal, Tyler Reeve in the centre, Common on one wing and Mitch Tinkler on the other. That seems to be their formula for these big games. And when we look at Aspire, they have in their ranks Sally McNeil, Dan McClellan, John Boulding, Bobby Williams, Tom Kelly, Rosie Hodgson and John Dixon. You'd say they'll probably go for the starting four of Kelly in goal, Boulding in the middle, Dixon on one wing and McClellan on the other. So we are just moments away from referee Millie Bean kicking this game off. We'll be back for kickoff and the action very shortly. So we are just moments away from the start of this game. Lanfeard in the YouTube comments, what a game we have in store here, Charlie. I couldn't agree more. It's going to be fantastic as Millie Bean is just on the centre circle waiting for the two captains. Just getting ready to go. A clear tension in the arena. Perhaps more busy than it usually would be at this time on a Saturday morning for the first game of the weekend, but that's because it is a game of massive proportions. So I was correct with my predictions of the starting lineups. I'll go over those again. For Aspire, it's Kelly, Boulding, McClellan and Dixon. For Teesside, it's Baxter, Reeve, Common and Tinkler. We are just seconds away from kicking off here. Tyler Reeve is going to take kick-off and we are underway. So Teesside kicking away from you, as you can see on your screens right now, as John Dixon straight into the tackle, straight into winning a kick-in for his side. You can expect a ferocious pace to this game of football as Mitch Tinkler picks it off John Boulding. Now Dixon, who came in there to do the defensive work, just forced Tinkler out for a kick-in, which will be taken by the aforementioned Mitch Tinkler in towards Tyler Reeve, back in towards Tinkler. Full spin Smacks into John Boulding. The game plays on. Boulding trying to find Ed Common advantage. Played originally, but there's a 2-on-1 between John Boulding and Dan McClellan. So Teesside straight into attacking Aspire early on in this game. And Aspire, a little bit of a defensive mess. And this would be very, very bad for them should Teesside score here. Obviously, earlier in the season, these two sides met. Teesside put in probably their best display of the season to win 3-0 in that one. Here's Tinkler off the back of his chair. 2-on-1. Given against Teesside by our referee Millie Bean, assisted by Ian Harley and Jeff Lewis. Goal kick. Tom Kelly's delivery was not quite what was wanted, as Boulding and McClellan in heated discussion here. Aspire not started the game with the attacking intent that they perhaps would have wanted to. Boulding, here's McClellan, tackled by Reeve, just pokes it around. Tyler Reeve, and Boulding straight into the tackle on Tyler Reeve, making a big challenge as well. Reeve looking to work around him, contact. Given against John Boulding, the England captain. So Tyler Reeve, who has deputised for him internationally before, takes the free kick. Ed Common, Boulding with a wild swing. Reeve cleans it up. Teesside moving the ball fantastically. Boulding just allows it to come off the back of his chair. Reeve puts it out. It's going to be a kick in for Aspire, to be taken by Dan McClellan. Dan McClellan takes it wide and looks to take on Tyler Reeve. It just bounces off his chair though, and so it'll be a kick in for Teesside, but Aspire putting the pressure on. Goal kick for Teesside. Be a free kick though for Aspire. McClellan looks to put it through the centre of the chairs. Dan McClellan sees it out for a kick in. McClellan, Boulding, Dan McClellan tries again. Blocked by Baxter, as I'm now joined on commentary by Ricken Shah. Ricken, how are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you, Charlie?
Good. This game has started with the ferocious intensity that you'd expect. It's a game massively influential in the title race. Ricken, obviously you last week managed to win the championship title with Muscle Warriors. What does it feel like playing in these big games?
It's an amazing experience, you know. It's tough, nerves get to you. I'm sure there's lots of nerves in this game with the importance of it. It should be a good game. Looking forward to it.
Mitch Tinkler has a chance to take a kick in for Teesside. Out on the left-hand side, Ed Common and Tyler Reeve his options. Common. He's going to go out for a kick in to Aspire. McClellan was fierce into the tackle with Common there. Aspire just reconfiguring tactically. McClellan, Boulding, lets it run. Kick in for Teesside. Aspire trying to take their play really wide in this game, and Teesside so far benefiting from a lot of kick-ins. John Dixon into the tackle, beats Mitch Tinkler up against Tyler Reeve. Still battling away, John Dixon. Foul given against him.
Charlie, you've been involved with Aspire now for the last few months. What's the camp saying? How are they feeling?
I think both of these sides, to be fair, will go into the game feeling pretty confident, feeling like they can win it, but also feeling like, in terms of the wider title race, that there is still an opportunity for both of them to win the league. Obviously, they have to basically win all of their games, and they have to get positive results against the current league leaders, West Bromwich Albion. But they both play them, so you never know what can happen. Crazy stuff happens in game week 5 of the Optegra Premiership, and I'm sure this season will be no different, as Boulding wins a kick in out on the right hand side. So neither side really able to fashion anything clear cut in terms of chances so far. McClellan, Boulding, goes for a full spin. It's good movement from John Boulding, and it was a good idea as well, sending their centre player down the line. Tinkler, McClellan into the tackle. Tinkler just dribbles for a bit with it on his bumper. Contact between Boulding and Tinkler. Mitch Tinkler just absolutely backs into Boulding completely off the ball. Boulding is a little bit shaken by it. It was very heavy contact. Tinkler, I think, gets a pretty stern warning from our referee, Millie Bean, because it's completely off the ball, rather unnecessary. Boulding. Blocked by Tyler Reeve on the first instance, but McClellan straight back onto it.
Done well there, Tyler Reeve.
2-on-1 will be given, but advantage played for now. And then Millie Bean pulls it back. Good refereeing from a very experienced official. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire, who you'd say are growing into this one, Rickon.
Yeah, I think you can see that Aspire are on the front foot at the moment. They tend to be on the front foot in most games, but obviously with Teesside being as good as they are, I think they're struggling to break them down, to be honest. Whilst they've had loads of chances, it's just that final pass for them.
Boulding not pleased with the assistant referee on this side, Ian Harley. But here's a kick in for Teesside. Flicked by Tinkler. Reeve. Back towards Ed Common, who just flicks it off the chair of Boulding, then finds Mitch Tinkler. Good movement from Teesside. Mitch Tinkler now, blocked by Boulding. McClellan with the ball in towards John Dixon, who's one-on-one with Greg Baxter, who has to deal with it. Does well to push it wide to Ed Common, but Aspire straight into the tackle again. Dixon getting way too involved there. Boulding and Dixon miscommunicating, and that's unfortunate because it was a big chance for Aspire, that. Tyler Reeve in the Aspire penalty area, looking to dribble it up against Tom Kelly's chair. Boulding just there to support him. Goal for Teesside, and Teesside have the lead. Tyler Reeve just forces it through the chairs of Boulding and Kelly. And the goal has been given by the on-field referees, and so it is 1-0.
I can see John Boulding's not happy with that decision. There was contact in the box.
Boulding is not happy, and he receives the yellow card for it as well.
I share his frustration there.
Yeah, it is a frustrating one, but obviously the subtext of that is very bad for Aspire, because they now have to play, I think, against Newcastle later without John Boulding. He will be suspended for that game, which obviously is not ideal at all for a side looking to challenge at the top of the division. Boulding, here's Dan McClellan in towards John Boulding, who strikes towards goal. Common just rolls out for a kick in to Aspire. Dan, do you want him to move? Dan McClellan. The part of the problem with commentating on the side of the pitch is that sometimes you get a little bit too close to players. Rickenshaw just had to leave the commentary box for a second. He's back now. So it remains 1-0 to Teesside. A controversial opening goal from them. But they have the lead in this game as John Boulding dribbles with it. Dan McClellan. Boulding. McClellan tries to keep it in and can't. Tyler Reeve. Boulding. It's going to be a kick in for Teesside. John Boulding, a very visibly frustrated figure right now, Rickenshaw.
He is, yeah. He takes his sport very, very seriously. He hates to lose.
Tom Kelly clears. Tyler Reeve into the tackle. Strong force between Reeve and McClellan. Tyler Reeve cleared by Tom Kelly. Snuffs out the danger in the centre. It's going to be a kick in for Teesside. Rosie Hodgson is going to be the first substitute introduced in this game for John Dixon. Dan McClellan still challenging Tyler Reeve.
Tyler Reeve's done well there.
Yeah, done very well. He's marshalled the dribble in this game so well so far, Tyler Reeve. He's really dominating that. Teesside look very happy to just control this game and allow Aspire to really beat themselves here. Tom Kelly. Kick in for Aspire, who want to restart quickly. Dan McClellan. Tackled by Tinkler. It's going to be contact foul against Dan McClellan in favour of Mitch Tinkler, who just positioned himself well behind Aspire's number 7 just to win that foul. Goes straight out for a kick in though, not the delivery that Tinkler would have wanted. McClellan. Kick in for Aspire will follow. McClellan. Boulding. Tries to put it through the chairs of Tinkler and Baxter. Reeve and Baxter.
They just need to keep it there.
Common looks to clear. Rosie Hodgson keeps it in for a bit and then just puts it out for a Teesside kick in out on the left hand side, so a chance for Aspire to put the squeeze on Teesside. Boulding. Battling with Tyler Reeve. Reeve again just looking to use his strength.
He's done well. He's done very well there to win that kick in.
Yeah, Tyler Reeve is really strong in the dribble today. Really strong. Don't know what he had for breakfast, but it's clearly working.
Maybe at McDonald's?
Maybe. It's a preferred breakfast of a lot of power chair footballers. He looks like he's had something sturdy like Weetabix or like just a bowl of spinach or something. John Boulding challenging Mitch Tinkler. We do not endorse McDonald's obviously, or Weetabix or any of those other products.
Other brands are available.
Of course they are. I'm a Rice Krispies man. Again, not an endorsement. Here's Tyler Reeve looking to dribble it over the line again. Similar situation to the one from which Teesside's first goal came. John Boulding is not going to shirk that challenge. He wins a kick in, but Teesside just battling away, keeping the ball high up in Aspire territory, and it's working for them so far. Rosie Hodgson strikes across. It comes off Tyler Reeve. Greg Baxter is going to stop it and just put it out for a kick in, which John Boulding himself is going to take. Boulding, McClellan, pass out again by Tinkler. Dan McClellan, John Boulding don't even need to communicate. They're so telepathic in their communication. As McClellan tries to fire it across, nearly found a gap between Tinkler and Baxter, but was quite easily dealt with by the pair in the end. Mitch Tinkler. Contact between Tinkler and Boulding, but now it's across. Head common. Well defended by Tom Kelly and John Boulding, but it's going to go out. It's going to be kicking for Teesside in attacking territory again. Head common. Contact between Hodgson and Reeve, but now it's McClellan. Contact foul given against Rosie Hodgson. So Bobby Williams has been booked on the subs bench for Aspire. Probably the most involved he's been in a match for a while. But he's been booked for what can only be described as verbals to the officials. But I think that's an indicator of where Aspire are at in this game. They feel very aggrieved so far as Tyler Reeve with the ball across.
I've never actually seen that, Charlie. Someone on the sidelines getting booked in this sport.
Yeah, I think we've got some very tolerant officials, so he must have said something, Bobby Williams.
John's got to be careful here.
Yeah, John Boulding Aspire need half-time here, let's be honest. They've not played well. They probably know that. I think that's the source of as much of the frustration as the decisions of the officials, which haven't seemed to be, for the majority of the game, particularly controversial from where we're sat. The goal will be reviewed, I'm sure, and scrutinised, but it's happened. And now they've given a 3 in the box against Dan McClellan. Well, this is John Boulding is actually in disbelief. Yeah. Very visible frustrations with Aspire.
Last action of the half, I think.
Yeah. this would be the killer. This would be the absolute killer for Teesside. For Aspire, and it's gone in.
Goal. Great goal by Ed Common.
Well, there it is. Ed Common with the goal. What a goal it is, just on the brink of half-time, which gives us a lot of time to talk about it.
What do you think the half-time team talk's going to be for Aspire and Teesside? Teesside are obviously going to be going into half-time full of confidence.
Yeah, Aspire are absolutely furious with themselves, I think, more than anything. You can see there is a very animated half-time team talk going on there. Teesside look absolutely buzzing on this near side. Oh, what a result for them it's looking like. And if they want to win this Premiership, they need to win this game. They'll obviously have eyes on their next game as well. They have West Bromwich Albion next. I mean, it's a killer day for Teesside, it really is, but they can come out of it with the maximum points, and they'll know that that title becomes very much a possibility going into the final day. So, Aspire currently trailing. Teesside in the ascendancy. They go joint top of the table so far. It ends the first half. Teesside 2, Aspire 0. We'll be back for the second half very shortly. Well, welcome back to Court B here at Nottingham Trent University, Lee Westwood Sports Centre. It's Aspire versus Teesside. Aspire hoping for the comeback of dreams. Teesside, all they have to do is hold on to their 2-goal lead, and they will put themselves level on points with West Bromwich Albion, going into that mouth-watering clash between the two of them later on. Still joined by Ricken. Ricken, half-time's a good time to sort of reflect and put together your thoughts about the game. What did you make of that first half in retrospect?
Yeah, I thought Aspire pretty much dominated the half, but they just couldn't break Teesside down. And when Teesside got their opportunities, they capitalised. The first goal I think was a bit controversial. I haven't seen it back, but I heard a big bang. The second goal was just pure class.
Yeah, I think speaking to someone of a Teesside persuasion at half-time, they think the first goal was fair. I saw Jeff Lewis, the assistant referee, signal for a penalty in the lead up to that first goal. Obviously, it will be analysed. We don't have to do that. People can go back and watch it and they'll see it the way they want to see it, but felt like either way Teesside were in the ascendancy and likely to score in that moment, as here's Tom Kelly. So we're back underway. 2-on-1 given against Teesside. Against Aspire, sorry. Teesside would be the beneficiaries. Advantage played on, and Teesside have a kick in. Nice and high in the Aspire half. Starting this game exactly how they started the first half. Common. Reeve. Ball across to the back post. And it's a goal for Teesside. Well, they beat Aspire 3-0 last time. And they have levelled that scoreline up. They have another 19 minutes to add to it. And any chance of a comeback, any chance of a second half resurgence from Aspire seems to be somewhat dead, doesn't it, Ricken?
Yeah, I'm just totally shocked by that. The power that Tyler Reed generated from that pass from Ed Common, and the ball just went in.
Yeah, I mean, it's all well and good losing 3-0 to a team once, but when you do it twice, you have problems, and that seems to be the case for Aspire. But Teesside are just magnificent as Boulding flicks up and gives Tyler Reeve a chance to get a rare header in power chair football. Teesside have been absolutely magnificent again in this. Serious prowess shown in terms of attacking, and also defensively they have been solid as a rock. Aspire have been able to create very little in this one. Tyler Reeve and John Boulding.
Do you think John will start to look to the bench in preparation for the next game now, or do you think he'll?
I mean, it's one of those where it's like Aspire know that they're going to play the next game without John Boulding now, and he is dangerously close to a red card. He has got a yellow card already, and he's probably 1 or 2 fouls away from receiving his second yellow card. Does he remove himself from the action? Does he give the team that's going to take on Newcastle later a chance to play together, potentially? Tinkler. That's lovely skill. Tyler Reeve with a dummy that does John Boulding. Boulding gets his back wheel in there to stop Reeve picking it back towards Mitch Tinkler. Just rolls out for a kick into Teesside, who are just winning every battle in every department of the pitch. I think it would be unfair to say that Aspire have dominated this game in any sense at any time, because Teesside have just been so in control throughout the majority of it. Ed Common more than happy to just take kick in after kick in.
It's just about game management now.
Common. Tinkler. Reeve. Tinkler. Tyler Reeve. Brilliant football from Teesside. The speed of play and the number of passes that they're stringing together has been absolutely fantastic in that period of play. And they nearly got the reward through Tyler Reeve, but he thrashed just wide. But big smiles on the faces of the Teesside players and coaches. They seem to be really enjoying this football match.
Absolutely. Some of the Aspire players just look deflated at the moment. think they probably feel a bit disappointed with themselves.
Boulding. Hodgson. Boulding. Here's Mitch Tinkler. Chasing after that ball. Dan McClellan just does enough to get it away from him. Common. Reeve. Blocked by Boulding. Now Hodgson. Ball across towards Dan McClellan, who strikes at goal. Saved by Baxter. McClellan follows up. Contact on the edge of the area between Tinkler and Boulding. That's a lovely pass from Tyler Reeve, and an even better one from Mitch Tinkler. Common shoots, Kelly clears. Still with Aspire now, looking to play it out. Hodgson. Boulding. Just a game of piggy in the middle right now for Teesside. Tyler Reeve has it on the edge of the penalty area. Cleared out as far as Dan McClellan, who will put it out for a kick-in. The Teesside are going to make a change. Alistair Hay is going to be introduced. Playing, I think, wide, which is an unusual position for him. He most frequently plays in goal for Teesside. But using this game as an opportunity to potentially try out some new things now. I feel like Teesside will probably correctly feel that they have the points in the bank. Boulding. 15 minutes on the clock, and if Aspire are going to do anything in this game, if there is any life in the European champions, they're going to have to start showing it soon, as Hodgson, McClellan, Boulding, potential 2-on-1, not given. Tyler Reeve now. It's probably a 2-on-2 to be honest in there. So tight out on that left-hand side.
Aspire looking to counter-attack. They can. Ed just blocking John off.
Here's Hodgson. Boulding. Reeve. Boulding makes the block. Boulding just thrashes up the pitch. It's going to go out for a kick-in to Teesside. High up though, so potentially a chance for Aspire to press and manipulate this kick-in against Teesside. Taken into Tyler Reeve, who's going to look to dribble. Boulding. Boulding, contact.
Advantage has been played.
Here's Tyler Reeve. Now Alistair Hay.
Lovely ball back.
I don't know if it was what he was intending to do, Alistair Hay, but it worked out.
It's a 2-on-1 there.
2-on-1 against Teesside. Miscommunication between Reeve and Common. They ended up basically touching. Boulding. McClellan flicks around the corner. Tyler Reeve clears. Now Boulding. Reeve. Hodgson. 2-on-1. Will be given against Aspire. No communication on that pitch anymore from an Aspire perspective, is there? They are just going through the motions, it feels.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season for them, I think. I think with the height of the European Championships last summer, they would have gone into the season really confident. But I think with the loss of Brad Bates, it has had a massive impact on them.
Yeah, it can't be understated what the impact of losing Brad Bates last summer meant to Aspire, not just in footballing terms, but in terms of that was the destruction of basically a winning team, a team that had won everything that could be won in Power Chair football in the space of literally 2 years as well. I mean, they won the European Cup, the year before that they won the league and the cup domestically. Challenged in everything, that team, and it's going to take Aspire a while to return to their former glory, you feel, but John Boulding and Dan McClellan, I'm sure, as England internationals, will not take this kind of thing lying down. Neither will the rest of the squad, who Rosie Hodgson, Tom Kelly, Bobby Williams, Sally McNeil, Jordan Williams, they were all there for the entire of that sort of challenging campaign. They'll all know what's needed to return Aspire to the top, but for now it's Teesside's day. They have been absolutely fantastic this season. Obviously last season was a bit of a transition season for them. Ed Common joined them last summer, but it didn't feel like they were going to be fully ready to compete. I mean, they did very well, don't get me wrong. They ended up finishing 4th after a torrid last weekend, and to be fair, they were right up in the title race until sort of weekend 4. I think they were top of the league at Christmas, if I remember rightly. Well, this year it feels like they're going to take that title race even deeper. A year of development has done Tyler Reeve the world of good, and also his building partnership with Ed Common as Dan McClellan strikes towards goal, blocked by Baxter.
That's what you want to see, Charlie, isn't it? You want to see teams develop, teams improve. You want the league to become stronger. Not just the same two teams, you know, West Brom and Aspire every year. And this season's probably been the best season so far.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I mean, I think it's been important for West Brom and Aspire to show that even though Teesside and Leeds and Newcastle are in the ascendancy, they can still establish themselves. The fact that Aspire are still in the title race in the final week, and the fact that the cup final is a gate between Aspire and West Bromwich Albion, does show that they're still there. But you can't help but get excited by teams like Teesside, who are going to be challenging this year and for years to come, it feels, as John Boulding takes on Tyler Reeve in the centre.
They've also built a really good club in terms of their second team as well. Teesside still, you know, speaking to some of their players, they didn't think that they would get into the playoffs to get into the Premiership. They managed to do that.
Yeah, obviously the Teesside CL, the second team for Teesside that play in the Championship. Well, they'll be taking on one of the sides from the Premiership in a playoff match, I think in June, to decide who will be in the Premiership next season. Will it be the team that is going down that stays up, or will Teesside still join their namesake Teesside and their club partners in the Premiership, as Hodgson can't take that ball under control? And I mean, it's just, Aspire looks so frustrated, so dejected. A lot of build-up going into this weekend, and for the first game to be this catastrophic, it really couldn't have gone worse from an Aspire perspective. I mean, they not only have lost, and with that potentially and probably ruin their chances of getting the Premiership title, but they also are going to be missing John Boulding for their clash with Newcastle. A notoriously physical and centre player based battle. I mean, it really is a nightmare, isn't it, Ricken?
It is. I've never ever seen Aspire like this at all. In all the years that I've known them, they're always calm, composed. I don't know what's going on.
Talking of calm and composed, here's Tyler Reeve, who is taking on John Boulding and really taking the battle to England and Aspire's John Boulding. It's going to be a change. Rosie Hodgson is going to be replaced by John Dixon. Well, there are just 6 minutes remaining. don't know what's going on, but I'm going to stop it for some reason. Someone's upset about something down there in the corner. I don't know what's going on. Have to get the lowdown after the game, I guess, but the head of referees, Jeff Lewis, and assistant referee has got his eyes on it. McClellan, Boulding, strikes towards goal. That's probably Aspire's best passage of the game, to be honest. It's a corner kick for Aspire. I mean, the officials have not been as bad as mentioned in this game at all, and the Aspire bench is getting another talking to. It's been a busy morning for Millie Bean in the centre. Dylan Pearson. Pearson into Common, who goes to full spin it.
Rare miss from Ed Common there.
Yeah, I think it's just got a bit sloppy in the end of this game. I think both sides probably have their thoughts on other things now, as McClellan fires the ball across to Dixon, in towards Dan McClellan. It's actually really good football from Aspire. They'll be left wondering where this was earlier in the game. McClellan just saved by Common. Now it's Boulding. Boulding into McClellan, who uses the back of his chair to play it across to John Dixon. His shot is blocked. Dylan Pearson. Now Boulding. Common.
Spire hitting here.
So I'm going to ask you, Ricken, for the player of the match in about 2 minutes' time. So I get thinking on that one. I don't think it's going to be too difficult of a choice. Maybe a couple of candidates, but certainly been a very big golfing quality in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's John Boulding challenging Mitch Tinkler. Boulding, Tinkler, good move. Ed Common into Mitch Tinkler, goes wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Aspire. Substitution. For Aspire, John Boulding. He's replaced him and Dan McClellan with Sally McNeil and Bobby Williams. Meanwhile, Teesside have replaced, God knows, with, I think Greg Baxter is going to come outfield. Alistair Hay is going to go in goal. Ed Common and Tyler Reeve are going to be off. I think that's what's going on. Don't know who will play in the centre.
Well under rest, I think, for them too.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very productive morning from them. And so where does this leave us in terms of the Premiership table? See if we can get the top 6 to come up on your screen now. Hopefully it'll be updated. Don't think that is available for us, but I can talk. Oh, there we go. So Teesside top of the league as it stands right now on 45. Aspire 41. They remain 4 points behind. West Bromwich Albion versus Teesside is the next fixture for Teesside, for both of those sides actually. That is going to be an absolute cracker. But until then, Teesside will be the side that tops the table. And I mean, leading the league at any stage during the final weekend is a very good sign. So there is just a minute remaining. Ricken, who has been your player of the match?
It's been quite a tough one. I think Tyler Reeves scored 2 goals. Ed Common's been solid in the middle and on the wing with his goal, but for me it's got to be Tyler Reeves with those 2 goals.
Yeah, Tyler Reeves has been imperious, hasn't he? Absolutely dominated this game.
Yeah, it's been the difference between Teesside winning and Aspire getting at least a point out of this game.
Yeah, and I've been very... I commentated on Teesside's John Good Group WFA Cup quarter-final against Villa Rockets, in which they were big favourites and they ended up losing on penalties. Tyler Reeve missed, I think, 2 penalties in that shootout, including the decisive one. And it could have been, he could have gone under mentally, but he stayed strong. He's responded in the best possible way, and he now could be on the path to guiding his side to an Optegra Premiership title, the first in the club's history. That would be really special as Greg Baxter just plays it across. Surely entering the final seconds of this one, Sally McNeil goes out. Millie Beam with a check of the watch. McNeil, Dixon, Sally McNeil, John Dixon. John Dixon really battling away, strong in the dribble, doing very well. Goal kick. Close to the last action. We played a minute over the regulation 40. Bobby Williams with a good pick off. Sally McNeil strikes towards goal. Comes off the post. McNeil, corner kick for Aspire. Lee Bean literally has the whistle in her mouth, I think ready to blow the last knockings of this one. McNeil. Dixon. Dummies towards Bobby Williams. And there's full time. So it ends with a crushing victory for Teesside. A decisive victory for Teesside. A statement of intent in this league. Thank you for joining me and Ricken for this one. We'll be back for plenty more Premiership action. But it ends Teesside 3, Aspire 0. The talk has been done. The walk has been walked. And it ends that score. So Aspire have a lot of consolidation to do. Teesside will take on West Brom. Later on to see who will be top of the table for the end of today's play. We'll be back shortly for more Power Chair football. See you in a bit.